We are in Chicago at VerkadaOne, and I'm joined by Loren Garby, Senior Enterprise Solution Engineers at Verkada. Loren, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent.
And now at VerkadaOne, I think we can resume it pretty quickly by saying AI. And I'm sure the 2,000 attendees that were there can agree with me.
Yeah.
But we hear a lot about AI as a buzzword in security, but I believe Verkada is doing much more with it. And what I mean by that is that you're making security going from a state of a reactive to a proactive.
Absolutely.
Can you touch a little bit on this?
Yeah, so I think from the very beginning, we've tried to be a more proactive solution than reactive by having alerts that can be sent to the phone, to a push notification, to an email, or even webhooks and other APIs in the third-party systems. And we're expanding on that with AI-powered search and alerts, and even now adding some additional features along those lines as well. So if we go to our alerts page here, when we create a new alert, you can see that we have AI-powered alerts. We've always been able to do a free-form type of alert, but now we're doing more industry-specific and kind of prompting the end customer for stuff that they can use in their investigations. So whether it's a K-12, government, retail, manufacturing, you can see some of these solutions here. If I want to search for a person wearing a high-visibility vest, I can just click into that, select my devices that I want to search across, and then even preview these results. I can specify my threshold, whether I want to be more precise or more broad, and get an estimate of how many alerts a day I'm going to be getting for this particular notification. Going in, I can select my schedule, whether it's 24/7, 7 days a week, or I can select or specify which days I actually want this to happen on, who's going to be receiving the notification and how, whether it's a mobile app, email, text, also integrations with Microsoft Teams and Slack, and then adding our new operators tab into this as well. So now when these alerts are generated, I can have an operator that picks it up and claims it. They have instructions on what they're supposed to do. We can show that there's a pending case, and then they can also close it out. So now we're actually adding a much better workflow for end users to be able to operate these systems and all these alerts that they're going to be getting within the platform.
And you mentioned workflow. I believe this is one of the really strong points of Verkada is the user experience while using these platforms. And there's one thing that was showcased that was actually called the unified timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe we can jump to it and you can explain what we're seeing.
Absolutely. Let's go over and check it out over here. You'll also see that we've broken out a lot of our sections here into different industries. Now we're going to be heading over to our retail specific industries. Great. So here we are at our retail booth, highlighting our new AI-powered unified timeline. Previously, we've always tried to make it very easy for our customers to find, save, and share footage. Here you can see that we've gone to a camera, we've selected our people tab. It's going to highlight all the individuals that the camera's detected. And when you click into one of those, you're actually able to see the historical view. You can also do an AI search. So a man in an orange jacket from last Friday around 5:15 p.m. Using this free-form text to be able to search across your entire fleet of cameras and surface all of the results from there. Here, selecting that individual, we're brought directly to the time and place that they were seen on that camera. And if we click into it, we're seeing this new AI unified timeline now. So I can drag and drop wherever this individual has been spotted across multiple devices. This is going to be in chronological order. If he's detected on 2 cameras at once, we're actually going to pull up an automatic grid and showcase them on both of those cameras. We can play it back at 1 time speed or 3 times speed, or even slow it down if you're trying to do a more granular investigation. We're also going to be overlaying the map view of where those cameras are placed and where that individual is actually moving throughout your premise. So before, you'd have to jump from one page to another page to a third to try to aggregate all that data into your investigation. But now we're really surfacing it all in one place for you, using the power of AI to be able to aggregate all of those into one dashboard and be able to make the investigations far easier for the end user.
And we can see here, even the map changed. So we were on one level and now we're changing level right away.
So these are our floor plans. So if the individual is moving from one floor to the other, it's automatically going to surface that new floor plan and again show what cameras he's been seeing and what direction he's actually moving throughout the building.
As I mentioned, the user experience for this, like monitoring is going to a whole new level now. You're saving so many hours finding which camera, where did he went, and building that story. This is what we're seeing here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's trying to make it easier to find, save, and then share that footage. A lot of time and energy goes into these investigations. We hear stories from our customers where it takes them days to weeks to actually be able to do a full investigation. We're trying to bring that down to hours or minutes with the power of AI. So here we can actually see once you start leaving the building and he gets into a vehicle, we can actually map which vehicles that he was actually seen getting into, add that to the timeline. And now not only do we have the people that are being detected, but we can also add vehicles and the license plate from that vehicle as well into that timeline.
You guys, yes, you enhance the security with all this AI, but I believe it's more than this. As we mentioned, you make things more efficient, you create smarter environments. So Verkada is kind of more than security. When you're buying an equipment, a camera, you can do multiple things with it, not just monitor situations.
Correct. People are looking to get more out of their cameras than just using them for physical security. They're looking to actually gain relevant business intelligence out of the video footage as well. And that's really highlighted well in our retail analytics dashboard that we just launched. Our cameras have a lot of data. We know how many people are in frame. We know how many people crossed the threshold or entered your business or left your business and what time. We're able to tie in point of sale systems through Helix to bring in transaction data into Verkada as well. And so what we're now able to do is give you aggregated traffic of your location, how many people are coming in and out throughout the day, week, or month, so you can better plan of when your store should be open or how you should be staffing it. We also have our total sales volume, so we're pulling this data out of Helix and your point of sale integrations. We can now assign queue trends and wait times, so identifying how long people are waiting in line to fulfill that transaction. And then lastly, what a lot of customers are asking for is conversion rate. So how many individuals entered my premise, or how many individuals entered my store, and then how many of those actually purchased. So we're able to associate the number of people coming in to those trends or to those transactions to identify what your actual conversion rate is. So really giving people a lot of power of getting better business intelligence of their systems outside of just using the cameras for their physical security purposes.
Yeah, this is super interesting because again, it becomes more than an investment in security. Again, with all this data, improving the workflow, improving the way you understand your business, if you have more traffic on a certain day to bring in more staff. And this again is just the surface of everything that's possible with AI, what you guys developed and what launched at VerkadaOne. I gotta say, one of the highlights for me was the release of your intercoms with AI. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think this is absolutely new. Nobody is doing this in the industry. We're talking live translation, live closed caption. There's, don't really know the name, but this AI concierge that you can talk with through the intercoms. So maybe we can go see them and just talk a little bit more about this.
Sure. So let's go over and we can look at some of our intercoms over here.
So Loren landed his microphone to David, head of intercoms at Verkada, so the mind behind those products. Thank you again, David, for your time. Thanks for having me. So as I mentioned to Loren, this was the highlight for me at VerkadaOne. And one of the reasons is that we didn't see any game-changing features in the intercom sphere for a long time, like we saw in the video surveillance space with AI. Until today. So can you walk us through what new features Verkada has to offer?
So especially in terms of AI, we see a lot of opportunity for AI voice because there's a lot of innovation right now in the audio space for the system to actually understand what you're saying, right? So a lot of the underlying technology is first being able to take speech, convert it to text, and then be able to do more stuff with that text, either display it or translate it. But then there's a lot of really cutting-edge AI out there now that's actually using what's called speech-to-speech models that are super responsive, super natural sounding, and super fast that allow you to get even more interactivity out of your devices. So you can almost think about it as it's like a Siri or an Alexa on steroids, right? Now it actually is able to much more robustly understand and produce responses, and you can program it to do things that are important for whatever use cases that your product is trying to serve. So for us, we have a bunch of new AI features that we announced last night. The first one that we'll talk about is live captions. And so live captions is basically the idea that now you can put subtitles on in real life. So with all of our native ways of answering calls. Basically, you can answer calls on your phone, on Desk Station, which is our iPad app, or on your computer. Now we can actually superimpose the captions onto the call so you can see exactly what the person is saying. So this would be really great for cases where you may be hearing impaired, or if you just like seeing what the person's saying. Eventually, we'll be able to show this also as part of the video stream, even if you're not a participant in the call. So you can actually monitor ongoing calls if you're in a security center or if you're someone kind of keeping tabs on what's going on. But right now, only specifically during calls on Desk Station and Pass for iOS. But the other really cool thing here is we also have the ability to auto-detect language. So we support about a dozen different languages in addition to English. So the system in real time, as you switch from English to French or whatever language you speak, it will be able to adapt to the new language you're saying. But then obviously at the end of the day, what you really care about is understanding what the other person is saying in your native tongue, right? If you're an English speaker, and if I'm an English speaker, you're speaking French, I want to understand you in English. And so the next step of all this is live translation. So basically with that feature built on top of the new live caption and all the speech-to-text technology that we've built, I can take what you're saying and not only show it in the language I understand, showing it in English, but also have a synthetic voice that then generates the English words so that when you and I are talking, we can understand each other, even though we're speaking completely different languages. And so we built this because we have a lot of communities out there that are multilingual.
Most of the people focus their security on video, so what you see. But the audio will add all the context to a situation. And having this user experience that someone doesn't necessarily speak English, but you're still able to understand that this person might need help or something, it changes the way Intercom works in a day-to-day usage.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I know it's really busy, lots of noise, but can we maybe test and showcase some of this?
Yeah, let's try it out. So we have the intercom here. This is our TD63 calling Desk Station. And also, I'll let you try it out. We may need to move the iPad in case there's feedback, but let's see how it goes. So let's start a call. Okay. This didn't pick up. And you can start talking.
All right. Hello, everyone. We're live at VerkadaOne. Can you hear me well? And can we see the text appearing on the screen as well? If you do, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Non seulement ça, mais nous serons de retour au Québec dans quelques jours où je pourrai vous offrir les nouvelles vidéos en français. Et ceci vous permettra de vraiment mieux comprendre ce qu'on a vu comme innovation cette semaine à VerkadaOne. Wow.
Yeah,
it's pretty instant.
It's instant. And so as you saw, it got you in English, got you in French, and we can also translate. So when basically it senses that there is a language that's not the target language, this little icon in the bottom left corner will pop up, allowing you to translate what you just said. And so what I'll do here is it's still listening to me. So as I'm talking right now, I'll be able to show you everything. So this is all real, it's all live. Let me tap this. And why don't you keep talking in French?
D'accord, donc je continue à tester la nouvelle fonctionnalité de VerkadaOne. Comme on peut le voir ici, c'est censé traduire en texte sur le iPad tout le texte que je suis en train de réciter en ce moment. Donc vous pouvez me dire si oui ou non vous êtes capable d'entendre. Non seulement ça, bien, ça va traduire le texte en anglais pour vous aider avec la compréhension de cette vidéo.
Well, that's fine. Translate the text into English to help us with the understanding of this video.
Again, the fact that it's so seamless is quite impressive. I mentioned it a bunch of times to Loren. The user experience from Verkada that you bring to the table is pretty special.
Yeah, we care a lot about that. And so we wanted to make this as easy as possible. We have a lot of, we built Desk Station for basically user personas. They may not be that tech savvy, who may be doing 100 million things. So we want this to be super intuitive and super easy to use. And obviously now communication is easier as well.
And you also mentioned live translation, but there's also the user directory that you mentioned. Can you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah. So this kind of goes into what I talked a little bit about before, which there's a lot of what's called speech-to-speech models out there that basically makes talking to a computer or talking to an intercom feel much more natural, right? And so the cool thing here is it's fast and responsive, very natural sounding. The voice that gets generated itself also sounds very real. And so this technology has moved super fast basically since 2-3 years since OpenAI came on stage with ChatGPT. This whole space has innovated so quickly, and for us, we've been thinking a lot about how best to apply these technologies in a way that feels useful, intuitive, because there's a lot of ways to do this out there that don't really make sense for how people want to use it. So I think, and for us, kind of going to what you are raising, is like we want to put the customer first, and we want to think about how do we incorporate in these features, the AI, in ways that they will actually use and actually feel natural in how they secure the buildings or do their jobs. And so we realized this actually was a good fit for one of the biggest features that we get, which is directory calling or multi-tenant calling, where you show up and you may want to call a specific department or tenant or office, or you may be here to visit a specific person. And so we're like, hey, wouldn't it be great if the intercom could actually understand what you're saying, but more importantly, be able to have the logic to try to connect you with the right person based off of what you're saying. So we built this new feature called AI Voice Directory, which is essentially allowing you to be able to tell the intercom who you're here to visit, and the intercom's smart enough to take that information and be able to make the right call. But this is just the first step. There's many other different features, workflows that we're thinking about, that we're evaluating. This for us was basically the most obvious, easy thing that we could build, but stay tuned for more features down the road.
Welcome to VerkadaOne. How can I assist you today?
I am here to visit Verkada.
Let me check the directory for you. I'll find the tenant information for Verkada. Give me just a moment. I've found a few tenants related to Verkada. We have Verkada Backstage, Verkada Breakout, and Verkada Main Stage. Could you let me know which one you're looking for? Or if you have a specific person you'd like to reach?
我没听懂你说的话，你能不能再说一次？
好的，我刚刚查到几个和 Verkada 相关的租户。Verkada Breakout 和 Verkada Main Stage， 您是要找哪一个？或者您有具体要联系的人吗？
And honestly, just these features are already game-changing. So I can see only a bright future for you guys from now on. Thank you, David.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
We'll go back to Loren.
Awesome. Thanks.
And we are back with you, Loren. And I wanted to ask you this question because you're an engineer. Like, you live with this stuff. You figure things out. You solve solutions. And we saw so many products being released that we couldn't cover today, but there's an LTE camera. You have a face unlock access control. You have this security trailer. And I wanted to know, what is your highlight of VerkadaOne this year?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about a lot of the software features that we've launched, and software is great. But being an engineer, I love my hardware as well. So behind us here is one of our security trailers that we just launched. And I think that we've been really uniquely positioned to be able to build one of these as a turnkey solution and offer it to our customers. You're seeing these around a lot more and more from different manufacturers, and we've been able to partner with our integrators to be able to provide the cameras and the cellular gateways before, and they were putting together these solutions. But we also wanted to be able to provide, again, a complete turnkey solution from Verkada. We have a lot of great highlights in software as well that's tied into this as well. You can see that we have our full map view. So if you have multiple trailers spread around the country, around the world, you can be able to see a live location of where they're at. We can actually go to one of our trailers at our headquarters location in San Mateo, California, look into the live details and see the current battery percentage, how much solar input we're getting. And we're pulling data directly from the solar controllers to see what the illumination is, how much battery charge, how much power we're consuming, as well as what's the actual solar input. Directly on top of that, we also have our gateway that's connected. So you can see that we're connected to Verizon with 4 bars. You see how much data you're utilizing, as well as all the cameras that are connected. which is a large variety. Today we actually have multiple PTZs, we have bullet cameras, we have our new multi-sensor quad camera that we just launched, as well as a bullhorn and a strobe light as well at the very top. So really great being able to tie all these systems together into one dashboard with the battery, the solar, the LTE, and the video surveillance. That's all being recorded locally and being stored on the cameras themselves. So really great solution for our customers that are looking to do remote deployments and be able to have mobile trailers to be able to be deployed anywhere that they feel like.
And now looking at this, how customizable is this? So I see multiple different cameras. Is this something you kind of pick and choose depending on your project?
We're gonna have two different varieties. So basically the trailer is gonna be the same, but you could choose how much battery power or how much battery storage you want. And you can also choose which cameras you want. So you can pick any variety of ours, and we have customized mounting points for them. So everything's gonna be a really easy installation, really clean solution for you as well.
And now, Loren, I took enough of your time, but what is the last word for people that were not able to attend VerkadaOne this year? And how can they find all these products? Who they need to contact?
You can contact your sales rep. You can go directly to our website at verkada.com. You can see all the new launches there, as well as not just from the hardware standpoint, but also a lot of the software features there as well.
All right, Loren, thank you again.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.